There's not like an investigation, a background check with an investigation to get you a clearance is different from just a regular job background check where they're checking your P and making sure and checking your criminal background check and stuff like that. And then like, okay, well, this guy's good. Or talking to your old boss. You know, everybody has that. Normally security jobs, cybersecurity jobs have that. Sometimes like people are confused about security clearance versus a security job. It's really not the same. It's not the same thing. You don't need a security clearance to do a cybersecurity job. I just noticed the questions are kind of strange because it keeps coming up. Let me see. Okay, I got another one here from the Jedi Solution. He says, "Hello, sir. Industry wide, do you see most corporations having a security operations center analyst do the work of a security operations center and security information event manager engineers? Do you see this becoming normalized?" Hmm. Do I see most companies having a SOC analyst do the work of an engineer? It seems to be at most of the large organizations I worked for. Okay, so let me put it to you like this. Um, I've done all these jobs. I was an analyst. I was a SOC analyst. I was a SOC engineer. Um, and what I'll say, and then I've worked for many different types of organizations, mostly large organizations. They normally try to keep it separate. The good organizations who are large, and if they have the money and the budget to do it, then they're usually going to have those two separate. And normally, if they have enough money to have a SOC, which is a security operations center, they normally have enough money to have it separate. Uh, so 9 times out of 10, it's separate. A SOC, and just for those of you who don't, let me bring you guys into this conversation. So a security operations center is where an organization has a bunch of people dedicated to all they do is detect anomalies, meaning possible security events. Are we being hacked? Is somebody sending a denial of service attack? Do we have malware on our network? And that's all they do 24 hours. Like they looking at logs all day long, right? And most of 99% of it is nothing. It's just regular operations. But there's 1% that is something. And they're looking for that needle in a haystack. They're looking for that 1% of something that might end up being way bigger. And it does happen, right? It does happen. So, and that 1% could turn into, could take over to do a lot of crazy damage. So that's what a SOC is for. Like it's a group of people that all they do is detect and sit down in front of a computer. They do 12-hour shifts looking at logs. Sounds crazy, but that's what analysts do. The analyst just looks at logs. Now they have tools to help them that AI can actually find some things that are interesting traffic that brings it up to a person that they can look at it and say, okay, what is this? Oh, it's a false positive. Or let me ask this person to see what it is. I'm going to go ask the network team to figure out why we're getting this traffic from this source on this port. What is going on? It's happened 15 times in the last hour or whatever. So that is a SOC analyst. Now, SOC engineer is somebody who fixes the equipment. And that is a big difference because you need somebody who's going to constantly have eyeballs on that traffic. You absolutely need some. And if they're fixing the computer, how can they have eyeballs on the traffic? And then you need somebody who's sophisticated enough to know how to connect all of that data, get those logs going into the analyst view. And it's got to be accurate information. Like the timestamps have to be correct. You've got to have it coming from specific. It's not going to be from you don't want all the traffic. You only want the most critical information. You want the best data coming to them so that they can have the best responses and have the best opportunity, give them a better opportunity to find interesting anomalies or security incidents and stuff. So that's two separate jobs. They're both touching the same equipment, but in a different way. One is looking at logs, one is setting up everything and then maintaining it, making sure it's running. You have to have those two. If you mix them up, how can the guy doing the logs fix the system? Now, that said, I have been in a place where I did both. Like I was in one organization where we had very little staff, and our traffic was light, so it wasn't a big deal. So I was doing, if it went down, I fixed it. And then if they needed me to set something up, I would do that too. But I was also looking at the logs from time to time. But that said, we didn't have that much traffic. We didn't have that much equipment. It wasn't like we were a pipeline of a lot of data. We would just have some data coming in here and there. Do I see this most organizations having a SOC? And yeah, most of them that I've had it separate. It's kind of got to be, because you just don't have time to do. You don't have time to do both. Like, you just don't. If you're serious about detecting anomalies, you can't have your engineer sitting there watching all this stuff. Like, it's got to be a separate thing. So yeah, I don't see that changing. It has to remain separate for the time and the skill set. It's a completely different skill set. That's another thing. Like, to be an engineer, you don't necessarily have to know. You don't have to know all the tools that a SOC analyst does. Like, as a SOC analyst, we had to know, we had to have access to a SIEM, an IDS, an IPS, and then some like tools like Nmap, and then like, what was it? PCAP data, Wireshark, all these different, and then even some forensics tools. We had access to all these different tools to do our job. And we had to know a little bit about each one and like what to look for in each one. It got very, very deep in the weeds, so where you're actually breaking the packet apart and looking at the hexadecimals and all that kind of stuff. It got really deep. Whereas a network, where as an engineer, a SIEM engineer, where you're only fixing one device. Like, I was only doing our SIEM, which was, at the time we were using ArcSight. So I just knew that. And then the ArcSight itself had a bunch of parts to it. I had to know Linux. When it was on a Linux platform, I had to know Microsoft. If it was on a Microsoft server, I had to know Oracle, because it used Oracle at the time. And then I had to know how Oracle talked to Linux, and then the commands that were used to start and stop the logs. And that was my world. So if something broke in that stack, I had to understand that. I didn't have to know Wireshark. I didn't have to know Silk, or all that stuff was pushed to the side. I don't have to do work on that. That's a whole different thing. I had to know Linux, Oracle, and the commands. And then if I had to make accounts, and for people, I had to know how to do that on ArcSight. And then I had to know, what was the other thing? Networking, of course, to hook it all up together. So those, it's completely different things. So yeah, it kind of has to remain separate if you're serious about detecting anomalies. Like, you don't really have a choice in the matter. All right, let me see if I have any other. Okay. Let me see. Larry says, be advised that this administration is a little more allegiance focused, to be aware. Answer questions, answer interview questions to fit the answers properly, regardless of political affiliation. And then he says, my 2 cents, I'm seeing more political allegiance-based rhetoric at my current place of employment in the federal government. Yeah, and that's the problem. Like, at the place I was at last time, well, no, like right now, as we speak, if I say something, and this is something I've never seen before in the United States of America, if I'm saying